The Secret of the Last Stair, a chilling 15-episode horror series full of suspense and terror, right until the final moment. Episode 1, The First Step. It was the first day of university. The sun was setting when David, Sophie, Mark, and Leah entered the old hostel building, a towering, time-worn structure made of ancient brick and deep wooden frames. Its corridors were long and shadowy, and the smell of dust and damp wood hung in the air like a forgotten curse. As the group explored the place, David paused near a staircase that led upwards, its wooden steps creaking with age. A strange silence wrapped around this staircase, as if the very air near it refused to move. There was something odd about the last stair at the top. Unlike the others, it was dark. Almost blackened, as if it had been burnt or stained by time itself. And right above it, an iron door stood shut, sealed with rusted chains and a lock without a keyhole. Sophie stared at it. Why would anyone lock a door with no key? Mark, always the skeptic, laughed. Probably to keep people like us out. But Leah didn't laugh. Or to keep something else in. That night, while everyone settled into their new rooms, David couldn't sleep. The image of the staircase haunted him. At midnight, he got up and quietly stepped into the hallway. The lights flickered. He walked toward the staircase. With each step, the air grew colder. As he reached the base of the stairs, he heard it. A creaking sound from above. He looked up. The sealed door at the top was slightly open. A gust of icy wind swept down the stairs, hitting David's face like a slap. In that moment, he saw a black figure standing on the last stair, motionless, staring straight at him. Suddenly, the door slammed shut with a violent bang, shaking the entire staircase. David staggered back, heart pounding. He wasn't dreaming, he was awake, and something, or someone, had been watching. Episode 2, Wooden Stairs. David couldn't sleep the entire night. The next morning, he tells Sophie everything. She's visibly disturbed. Sophie, it might have been your imagination, or a dream, but David swears he was wide awake. Later that day, while Mark and Leah go out for lunch, David and Sophie sneak into the old hostel library. There, they discover a register from 1912 with a strange note. February 1912, the last stairway was sealed. There is a dark force beyond. Stay away. Scrawled in dried blood are the words, it's not below. It's above. That night, Leah dreams that someone is calling her from the rooftop, whispering, come to the last stair. Episode 3, The Door That Never Closes. Leah wakes up at midnight to see the rooftop door moving slightly. From her window, she spots a shadowy figure in black standing at the edge of the rooftop. She screams. Everyone rushes to her room, but there's no one there. The door is wide open, and there are no footprints. Mark, you're all losing it. This is psychological fear, but that same night, when Mark quietly approaches the staircase alone, a shadow brushes past him. And the door slams shut on its own. Episode 4, Sophie's Dream. Sophie dreams of standing on the wooden stairway, hearing footsteps climbing from below. As she descends step by step, the sound grows louder. Suddenly, something whispers behind her, you're the fourth. She wakes up drenched in sweat. When David hears this, he checks the old register. It lists the names of 4 students from 1912 who went up the last stair and were never seen again. Episode 5, Room 302. David and Sophie learn that Room 302 has been locked for 113 years. It faces the staircase. When they pry it open, a rusty pendulum starts swinging on its own. The walls are covered in scratch marks, and a message is etched with fingernails, whoever sees never returns. They freeze in terror. Episode 6, The First Blood Trail. Mark slips on the stairs and cuts his knee. Later, a trail of blood follows him wherever he walks. That night, while he's asleep, a message appears on the wall in blood, you're the 6th. Mark is horrified. Episode 7, No Turning Back. Leah decides to leave the hostel. But as she approaches the gate, it slams shut and chains wrap around it on their own. She hears a whisper, once you've stepped in, there's no return. The hostel has become a prison. Episode 8, Stairs Below. David and Sophie bravely descend into the basement. They find a sealed door with words carved into the wood, "Do not open, or he will be set free." But the door is already slightly ajar. Inside is an old painting, "For complete faces." And a fifth unfinished, as if someone's face is yet to be added. Episode 9, The One Who Never Blinks. Sophie wakes up to see a shadowy figure leaning over her, its eyes wide open, unblinking. She screams, but the figure vanishes like mist. Mark scoffs at their fears, until he sees that same figure behind him in the mirror. Episode 10, The Second Blood Trail. Leah starts suffering from severe headaches. She finds marks on her arms, as if gripped by unseen fingers. On the wall, another blood-written message appears, "You're the seventh." Now it's clear. There are 13 steps in the staircase, and each one claims a soul. Episode 11, Mark disappears. One night, Mark goes up the stairs and never returns. By morning, only his bloodied shirt remains. A new line is drawn on the wall, "You're the eighth." Episode 12, The Mirror That Shows the End. Leah discovers a broken mirror. When she looks into it, she sees herself falling to her death from the last stair. Sophie whispers, "This mirror doesn't show the future. It shows your end." Episode 13, The Final Dream. Sophie has the same dream again, the stairway, the painting, the fifth face. Now the fifth face is complete. It's her own. Episode 14, The One Who Waits. David goes back to the basement. A shadow watches him and speaks, "You're the last one." The door is about to open. The shadow reaches toward him, a blood-curdling scream, then, darkness. Episode 15, The Final Stair. Only Leah and Sophie remain. They realize the staircase demands 13 souls, and only the one who sacrifices the rest can survive. Leah chooses to sacrifice herself, stepping onto the final stair, offering her life. The shadow fades into silence. Sophie, the only survivor, walks out of the hostel at sunrise. Behind her, the staircase seals itself shut, forever. Round pushpin epilogue. 1 year later, a new student enters the old hostel and finds a dried bloodstain. Beneath the staircase, he hears a faint whisper, "You're the first."